Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. So I wanted to do this video to explain to people why a lot of times it takes a long time for a person to come forward, to admit that they've been scammed, to admit that someone acted towards them in a predatory manner, to admit they've been abused and misused. Okay, off the top of my head, off the bat, a lot of times it takes a lot of courage and bravery to do. It's not always that easy because you're hurt, you're in a state of depression. That's what happens. Next, sometimes the person that does it is somebody who has a particular title. They have a particular status, and that title and status is above you. And we have a lot of people, the majority of people in the world, they honor and they look up to people who have a particular title, a particular status, right? So when you don't have a title or status and you're just making a way for yourself, making a name for yourself, what one of the things that go through your mind, oh my God, is who's going to believe me? I'm a nobody, and then people are going to say, well, why would they do you like that? Why would they come after you when you're nobody? The next thing is, and when I say title and status, let me just give you an example. Myself, one of the people that screwed me was a pastor, number one. So I was like, oh Lord, she's a pastor. Who's going to believe that this lady who says that she believes in God, who has that kind of stature, who's going to believe her over me when I don't hold any kind of title in any church? Then the next thing is, this woman was the marketing director of the Georgia Real Estate Investors Association. I was an upcoming real estate investor. I didn't hold any title in any investor association except for to be a member. Okay. So again, that made me shrink down. And then the person was also older than me. So again, I shrunk down and I was afraid to come out. I wanted to come out, but I was like, oh my God, who's going to believe me? And then in the case of what I've been seeing online with other people, a lot of people were probably also afraid to come out. Why? Because they were dealing with celebrities. And it was like, who is going to believe someone? And this was another thing for me too. Someone who supposedly has more money than me, somebody who is richer than me, why would they come after somebody like you who is poorer, who makes a lot less, right? Not knowing that, first of all, some people who are celebrities, and even those who are not, who do make a lot of money, a lot of times we think that a person who has a certain stature, position, and title, that they make more money, when some of them actually don't make more money. Okay. Then, because a lot of times they front. And then on top of that, you also have those who, yes, they do make more money, but they don't know how to hold on to that money. They don't know how to save that money. So they may make, I don't know, 50, 60,000 in an hour, but then by the next hour, all of that money is gone, right? So, in fact, even though you make less money, you know how to save, you know how to hold. So in you know, in the realm of things, you actually have more than they do. Okay. So, and then uh, the other thing is there are a lot of stereotypes out here. Okay. There are people that will say, like I've been told, oh, you're soft, you're weak, you don't look like you're that bright. So, because of that, you know, people are going to say, blame you and say, well, I don't know why you decided to be an investor anyway. Look at you, right? Yeah, this is going to happen because of how you look. When, you know, there are a lot of people who look smart who aren't, okay? And then you do have those who look smart and they get ripped off and they get scammed too. Why? Because a lot of times people who are smart don't always get a lot of sleep. They don't always get enough sleep. And when you don't get enough sleep, you don't always make the best decisions. You also have a lot of people who are smart, who are in a desperate situation. They may have a job like myself that they hate, they detest, they don't like. There are negative things going on there. They want to get out as quickly as possible. They may even find that, you know what, they're sick of the job world working for someone else. And they want to leave. They're sick of being taken advantage of. So they think that becoming an entrepreneur, becoming an investor, that they'll be able to avoid all of that. But that's not how that works. There's actually a lot of what they don't realize is that the same way that you can be taken advantage of on the job is the same way you can be taken advantage of when you're an investor, when you're an entrepreneur, and worse. That's what people don't tell you because they paint this wonderful, beautiful picture about being an entrepreneur so that they can sell their courses to you on how you can become one. That's the game that is being played on so many of us, right? The other stereotype is, well, you're a woman, this is a man's game. Okay, it's a man's game, but guess what? Men get ripped off too. Men get preyed upon too. It's not just women. So that's not it. Then, you know, you also get some people will even bring up your race. That's not it either, because I've seen people of all races, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, get ripped off by other white, black, Hispanic, Asians, right? So, you know, all these different, throw any stereotype, throw anything in the comment, and I'm telling in the comment section of this video, and I am telling you that I know somebody that has been hurt. I there honestly, I don't believe that you can make it in this world and live particularly as long as I have and never get hurt. It's inevitable. It's part of life. It's what happens. Okay? But we set things up in such a way, those stereotypes really hinder people from moving forward. Another stereotype is, oh, you're gullible, you're dumb, that's why it happened to you. You're weak, you're soft, that's why it happened to you. No, that's not why it happens to people. It happens to people because certain people will try anybody and everybody. They don't care. They don't care what kind of person you are. That's why they're out to hurt you, destroy you, rip you apart. You know, the Bible says the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he will use whatever, because it's really a spirit that's in these negative people. And they will use whatever they can use to get at you, to get whatever it is that they want, whether it's money, whether it's sex. It could also be, and at times it has been, your mind, your heart. You know, they want that. That's what they want. You know, and we really have to destroy all of those things. And even if a person is soft, weak, slow, dumb, etc., etc., that's really no excuse to be evil to a person. Evil is still evil. It's not okay to mistreat people. It's not okay to steal and take their money, their mind, it's not right to even their time. Time, we put so much emphasis on money that we don't realize that time is actually a lot more valuable. When you take a person's time away from them, they don't get that time back. And then there's also your mind. It's hard to get your mind back. It costs money to get your mind back once you lose it. Sometimes it's best, I've heard, sometimes it's best to lose your mind so that this way it can be replaced with a better one. But let's face it, that does not always happen to everybody. Okay? So, that kind of thing, those type of things. And then also sometimes when people come forward, they think that person is crazy. They think that, especially the first person, when the first person steps forward, man, when you're the first person to admit that and tell and warn people, a lot of times they'll turn on you and say, you're the perpetrator, you're the predator, you're the scammer, you're the liar, you're the cheater. This has happened to me. The lady said I lied, and a couple of people believed her, and then they realized, wait a minute, she took my money. And then they started to believe me. Okay? But yes, this is what happens. This is what happens to people, and that's why a lot of people don't come forward, don't admit, hey, this person is someone you should not do business with. This is someone that you shouldn't even be a friend to or anything of that nature to. Okay? So we need to change how we treat people and how we see people. Everybody that gets ripped off, everybody is not gullible. Everybody is not stupid. Some people are tired. Some people work the night shift. Some people work 2 or 3 jobs. I know people who work 5 jobs. They're tired. So when they see something that, will allow them to maybe, let's say, quit at least one of their jobs, they may not necessarily always take the time to read like they should, unfortunately. They may know that they need to speak to a lawyer, but they're trying to save money. So they unfortunately cut. That's a corner that they shouldn't cut, but they'll cut that to save money to go and get involved in some of these schemes that are out there. But unfortunately, they don't know how to recognize a scheme that's being played. And then they're also being played on the job. Almost everybody who has a job is being scammed or schemed on in some kind of way, form, or fashion. Don't tell me that everybody on your job knows what they're doing. I know they don't. Everybody is not as smart or as talented as you. Somebody makes the boss laugh, and a lot of times the one that makes the boss laugh, that's the one that the boss likes. And the boss might promote them over you even though they don't know their ass from their elbow. Real talk. They might even be sleeping with the boss. Even if you don't have a job and you're in college, you know that the girls that sleep with the professors normally get better grades than the girls that don't. Right? Come on. Let's not be so uh, put this blanket out there. It's a lot of people um, that, there are other things that is going on. Sometimes they're so stressed, so angry, filled with anger. They can't concentrate and they can't think straight. They think that they're doing the best that they can. And they think that they're making the right moves, but unfortunately, things happen and they don't. Some people are scammed in love. They fall for what? The wrong person. Look at how many people get married multiple times. Some people so scared they don't even get married at all. But they'll have a whole bunch of boyfriends or girlfriends. So this is one of the reasons why, and especially like I said, it's a celebrity. Another thing too, uh, sometimes it's a pastor, it's a police officer, it's the mayor, it's the president, right? When you have a person who has those kind of titles, it's not easy to convince other people to stay away, that this person is bad, that this person did something to me. It's not easy to do that at all. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. I think I may have mentioned it in another video, but I'll repeat it. I remember there was a clubhouse room and there was a woman, she actually worked in the police department. She said that she was an investigator. That's what she said. And she was saying that, people need to do better when it comes to figuring out who's a scam artist. And then there was another woman that said, yeah, people too damn gullible, right? Do you know one of the scam artists came up on the stage and was talking, and everybody in the audience who was on Clubhouse from, you had some day oneers, and then you had people who were definitely there way before these women actually came on stage, before they opened up their room. We said, oh, really? Then how come you have one on your stage? A scammer. He was both a scammer and a predator. He was preying on many of the women on the app. Yeah, guys. So listen, you gotta give people just a little bit more grace, is basically what I'm saying. Because the fact that that grace is not extended to people who have been hurt in this manner or any manner, that is what keeps them hidden. That's why they keep quiet and they don't say anything for years, for decades. Because they're saying in my mind, well, who's going to believe me? Right? That's what they're thinking. Who's going to believe me when I tell them that this person hurt me and this is how they did it. And then once I say it, even some who do believe me, they're going to turn around and blame me for what happened. They're going to say, you're too gullible. You shouldn't have been out there anyway. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're soft. You're weak. Something is wrong with you. You're a liar. You know what? Nah, you're a scam artist. I don't trust you. This is what people are going to say. You're crazy. It's happened to me. So I know. And those things hurt. And those words, for me anyway, they're not true. They're not. Real talk, I'm strong enough to hurt a lot of people. I choose not to because I'm a Christian and because I'm grown. But when I was a little girl, I hardly lost any fights, any fist fights, real talk. One of the reasons too is because I look a certain way, but even though I look that way, meaning I look soft, I look weak, I'm actually not. I'm actually a very strong person who can put you in the hospital without a gun and without a knife. Real talk. I'm not gangster. I'm just me. Right? So, I just wanted to make this because I really want this to stop, and I want more people to come forward, because coming forward, and I'm going to say this too. I need to say this. When you come forward, yes, there are people that hurt you, but it's a step into the healing process. And when it happens to you, please, the first people that you tell, the first people that you run to, you should really run to a therapist. But I know some of you will be so mad that you're going to run on social media and you're going to go to all of that person's pages like I did, and you're going to run your mouth off, shoot your mouth off. You're going to go to the platforms and block their pages and report them so that their pages can be taken down. Listen, their pages are just going to go right back up because they're going to come up with another name, right? You're going to go to Consumer Reports. You're going to go to different places. You may go to court, what have you. Go to a therapist. Really, the first place, really go to God. Get some prayers up. Then go to a therapist. But if you've already done those other things, at some point, make time to go to a therapist, because it is not easy. And it definitely wasn't easy for me because nobody backed me up. Well, no, let me not say this. My friends, they knew I was telling the truth, okay? The head of the New York Real Estate Investors Association, she knew I was telling the truth. But the people on social media, people who I was trying to warn, they didn't know me, so they didn't really believe me, right? It wasn't until 2-3 years later, they all believed me. That's right. After I wrote the book and published it, and I know that they didn't buy my book, mind you, but that's when they believed me. It took that long. Sometimes it takes that long, and when it does, you're like by yourself. But there's another situation that unfortunately I have to deal with. And it's been over 10 years, and the people don't believe me. And guess what? They may never believe me. You know why? Because God got them. That's right. During COVID, one of the main perpetrators died. He caught it. And this was before we had, any cures, before the vaccination or whatever. It was like the first week when New York was shut down. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share. This is what I wanted to enlighten you guys with. Please feel free to share this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.